Yeah, I think that this week goes faster.
Yeah, it went really fast. You have the master's degree tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I have the masters tomorrow.
How are you doing with it?
Good, sure. The last week we started a new quadrimester, so the classes are different. And yeah, I'm not a fan of those classes because one is uh, I don't know how to say in English, but metodología de la investigación, you know,
Research methodology.
research methodology. Yeah, well, it's not my favorite class. And the second one is one called like ecology, but it's like the different how can I say it? Mm,
Impacts.
yeah, insect of the organizations. The second one is more interesting than the first one because I'm not a fan of the research methodology. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, as that is part of what I have to do in the doctoral degree. And yeah, it can become very, very dry and boring, or can be very exciting. I think people need to show the practical aspect of doing research. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
with an example, right? Let's do research about, I don't know, so many things. And sometimes it becomes dry. What do you think things that should be interesting become dry?
Mm, well, I think that the reason why it becomes right is because uh, in occasions, how can I say it? We don't have like the correct motivation to to do a research or to do something that is interesting, but probably I don't know. In occasions, I think that the teacher, in case of classes, affects in a positive or in a negative way the way in how we see, uh, a topic or a class. I don't know, but probably that is
Yeah,
one of the causes.
could be. I'm sure that you're right about what you're saying, and it's a pity because, for example, I also had this class. I think in master's degree, it was so dull, so dry. I saw no application or no practical aspect of that. I think that the first thing we need to do is to say what do we want to research, right, and why. What and why do we want to do a research on anything? If you are a detective, you want to investigate the reason of a murder, right? Who committed the murder? Why he or she committed the murder? Or somebody stole a bank? Well, who stole it? You do a research because you want to find the truth, I suppose, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that that's why I don't like too much. How is it? Research methodology,
Yeah.
because in all the classes that I received that specific topic, I haven't seen the real purpose, right? They just told me, well, you need to use the APA format, you need to use this margin, you need to use this type of font, this size of font. But at the end, I haven't seen like the real purpose of do a research. It was just like to pass the how to say the grade,
The subject, the
the
class.
subject, the subject. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't see the real purpose, right?
Well, maybe that is the first question. Why do we want to do research? Why do you want to do research? I mean, what do you want to research, first of all, and why? What would you be interested in researching? Well, you already are a researcher. You research the market, right, for your
Yeah,
products.
yeah, that's true.
And, well, what do we research? Well, you can, as you said, you can research the market. market. You can research. What else can you research? Why people behave or societies,
Mm-hmm.
societal behavior. Why societies become violent, like in this case in Guanajuato or in other parts of Mexico? Why there is cooperation, so much cooperation among people and countries? Why do we want to research if there is life in Neptune or not? What else do we research almost everything? Okay,
Yeah.
why women are so temperamental in
Yeah.
occasions. I mean, that's also part of research, right?
In so many occasions, but
In so
yeah.
many, and occasionally some men too, right? I mean, it's not controversy, but mostly women. Why are they so? Why babies are born in 9 months and not 4? Or how long does it take to dogs or cats to be born, Mickey?
I think that between 2 months and a half and three in cats. I think so.
Not 2 and 3 like other mammals. It's I mean, you can do research on anything.
Yeah.
Really, you can do. That's why the science has made so much progress, because scientists have been curious and have done research. Now, what type of research can you do? Well, people categorize research as scientific and social. I don't know if you agree with that or that is too broad. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
What distinctions do you make among both of them?
Mm, well, probably in the scientific, there are like more use of numbers, more use of data that is, how say, like quantitable or
Yes, quantifiable.
quantifiable. And in the case of the social, is well, they use other method that is qualifiable. Is correct to say
Qualitative. Yeah, that's very
no
true.
qualitative.
So one can be quantitative research. That's very true, actually, Mickey. And the other can be more qualitative, right?
Yeah.
Qualitative. Why is there this? This is true, but why do you see this distinction?
Mm, well, because in some research, it is necessary to have like uh, a specific type or method of method because I don't know if it's something that involves, I don't know, the size of a city or analyzing a group. It is different to analyze a specific group of people, determine their likes, their way of thinking, instead of do the measure of a city and see the amount of people who, I don't know, who lives in a certain area or in other area. I don't know. I think that depending of the research, we need to use. I think that there are different types of how to say methods to do research, but I think that the most popular are those two. But but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, totally true, totally true. Now you want to do a design of your research, right? You want to do a design, and so you do uh, research design. Research design. Oops, I don't know what I did here. Okay, so you want to do a research design. So maybe you want to know your target market of tennis shoes. Let's say in target market of tennis shoes. First, you need to decide if you want the scope of your research. Do you want to investigate just Irapuato, Guanajuato, the Bajío, the whole country? What is the scope, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your case, for example, If you wanted to know approximately how many people like fancy, sophisticated tennis shoes, what would be the scope of your analysis? Do you want to focus on what scope of market? Local, international? Mm,
Mm, well, mainly I think that, for example, I did a research the last week because I did a promotion in my of my page,
oh, wow. Okay.
and I did a promotion in Facebook. For using Facebook ads, you need to create a pixel. That's how it's called. And in this pixel, you need to put the different theaters that you think that the people who is interested in that type of products must have. And for example, I needed to put the age, the range of age, their likes too, um, the states, for example. I didn't put Oaxaca or Chiapas because probably it is too far and there are not so many people interested in those areas. But I put Querétaro, Guadalajara, Aguascalientes, León. The cities that probably uh, will have more interested in the type of products that I sell. And then with that, Facebook um, takes all that information and create that pixel, and then the post that you make uh, is gonna appear to that specific people, and you establish the obviously the budget that you're gonna invest in the promotion, and it was good. I received a lot of messages. Probably, yeah, there are people who's interested in those products, but not all people have the money to to pay them.
Yeah.
And but I acquire more followers in the page, so it was it was okay. Probably I need to change some things to attract not only followers but to attract new clients, right?
Yeah. Well, this research that you are doing is really amazing because it has a strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have a strategy. And you are basing your strategy. One is on territory. You're basing it on what people likes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you mentioned something else. In the age ranges, of course, age
Yeah.
range, because the likes will vary depending on the age range, correct?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, well, you're already doing design. Maybe you're doing more research than the teacher himself, but you will not
Mhm.
tell him that, right? Or maybe I don't know. But okay, so that's one aspect which is very important, the design. And then what you said, how do you collect the information? You basically have data collecting system, data collecting system. And for collecting the system, the data or methods, you have data collecting methods. I'm sorry, it's called methods. That's why it's methodology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the APA norms and the type of font and that is for the form of the document. You present a document that is your research, you need to follow certain standards. Well, that is okay. That is actually true and that is important. But it's not the most important. The most important is what? I think the substance of what you do, correct? What is your research
Yeah.
about? Why you want to do that research? And well, I have two, what you said, quantitative and qualitative types of methods. Let's see both of them, Mickey, please. Can we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here. First,
Quantitative
yeah,
involves numerical data and statistical analysis, surveys, experiments, etc. Qualitative involves non-numerical data and explores in depth understanding, interviews, focus groups, case studies, etc.
right. In your case, maybe you have a mixture of both, right? Because on the one hand, you want to know the target of those people, but also you want to know their purchase behaviors and their income power, right?
Yeah.
Um, How would you do this? How would you determine the income power of your clientele, or how many people fit in that category?
Mm, well, I think that varies because not all the sneakers cost the same. You know,
Mhm.
there are sneakers that are cheaper than others, and in occasions it is it is easy to determine when the income power of of a person agrees what you're selling or not. For example, uh, one client that the last promotion that I did at Trax told me what type of sneakers you have, and I told him, well, like, we sell Jordan, we sell luxury sneakers, and I told him what was his budget, and he told me between 800 to 1,000 pesos, and he was like, probably I'm not the I'm not the person that you're looking for, you know. And in occasions, I think that Facebook could analyze that, but um, I don't know exactly how they does because um, one time, probably 3 months ago, I did another promotion. I didn't acquire a lot of followers, but I acquired two two new clients, and was just promoting on Facebook. I don't know how they do the analysis. Probably they. Mm, I'm not sure if they analyze. For example, you know that in Facebook you can put like check-ins that we are in this restaurant, we are in the airport, and you know, put like check-ins that you're in certain place. I think that they analyze that, and for example, there are people who put in the airport of that, or now in this restaurant, or enjoying for this movie. Probably that's the way how can they analyze it? Because in the places they chose, like the how can I say it? Mm, the level of cost of those places. For example, if you search in Google, they appears the signal of dollars and one, two, three, or until $4. So it shows you the amount of money that probably you need to pay in those places. I don't know if that's a way that they do the analysis, but probably I'm not sure.
That's a very good, that's a, I don't know if they do it, but if they don't, that would be a great way to find out the purchasing power or the income power of people, analyze where they go, what they buy, what they do. And there are companies who do it. There are companies who do it. One of my brothers used to be in a company called Zap,
Zap.
SAP, SAP, yeah, in
Hmm.
Arizona. And they collected data of all kinds of information like this, right? How often you visited a place, what products are purchased the most often, and
Hmm.
they have billions of data. There's actually called data data mining,
Hmm. Yeah.
data mining, or which is the same as data collection. And then they analyze it. They analyze it in terms of they divide it in terms in categories, and then they determine the attitudes of people. Yeah, per
Hmm.
region.
Yeah, that's true. For example, I know that, for example, the algorithm of TikTok is that they analyze the time that you spent looking a video. You know, normally in TikTok are short videos, no more than 1 minute videos.
Yes,
But if you are looking at video one time and another time and another time, they're gonna put you videos related to that, and then they're gonna put you products related to what you're looking for, what you are looking. And yeah, for example, another case that probably Facebook does, now that I'm thinking, is the cookies acceptance. You know that when you go to a page, they give you like advertisement that if you want to accept the cookies or not. And in occasions, if you put not, they they don't let you see the page. So you need in one way or another put that you accept the cookies. And in the moment that you're accepting the cookies, they have your well. they track your information. Meanwhile, you are in the website. For example, if there's an advertisement and you click to the advertisement, they send you the information to the company of the advertisement, and they says, well, probably this person. Normally, if you can notice, all the pages requires an email. So when you have your email, well, you have other pages or other apps related to that email or linked to that email, so they have more information.
That is exactly true. What's going on, and well, I think it's very ingenious, very creative, and very smart thing to do. On the other
Mhm.
hand, I also think that that is a bit invasive. But well,
It is. Yeah, I
I
think so
mean,
too.
particularly because they are not telling you the consequences of that. They are doing a whole statistical analysis of all the information for profit, for commercial purposes. Um, but yeah, that is going on. That is very, very actual, very current. And well, that is part of research. They are doing research in a quantitative mode.
Yeah.
That is exactly an example of good research. They do thoroughly, massively, collecting millions, billions, trillions of data about people, and
Hmm.
then they organize information and then they sell it.
They sell it. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
that's
example, have you seen the page Temu?
which
Temu. I don't know if you have seen advertisement of that page. It's a Chinese
no.
page that sells like Alibaba, AliExpress, that type, Chinese
Okay,
products.
okay,
Well,
no, I don't.
their advertisements and their promotions are like, well, we're selling this new clock. This is a digital clock, and the clock looks nice, to be honest. And the price is probably 100 pesos. You know that a digital clock is not too cheap, but the purpose of those companies, mainly Temu. There's another called Shein, which there's so many Chinese pages. Is that the product is so cheap, but they are not selling you just the product. In occasions they send you the product for free, but I always believe that when something is free, when a product is free, is that because probably you are the product too. So what they do is that they acquire your information and they sell it to the companies. That's the main business of them.
That's a very good phrase. If the
Yeah,
product is cheap, maybe you are the product, right?
yeah, of course. Nothing is for free.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that is true. But then they collect quantitative and qualitative data.
Yeah,
And how they do it? Well, it says numerical data is taken with electronical data. You provide the information. They don't need to ask you for anything. You give the information,
you
right?
provide it. Yeah,
You provide it, which is incredibly smart and becomes automated. It becomes an automatic process in which you provide your information in an automatic way by the millions. You, me, my brothers, your dad, our families, we all are giving our information. People store it, collect it, organize it, analyze it, and give and then distribute it.
yeah, exactly.
In the case of a qualitative information like the one that I'm going to have an interview later today. I'm going to go to
Hmm.
Guanajuato as
Okay,
part of my research. I need to do some research as to the reasons and the position of the government in front of them so many agave plantations.
okay.
So I made an appointment with the secretary of territory orderly
Hmm.
and in Guanajuato, and they are gonna give me the position of the government regarding the plantations. Right? So I need to ask them questions, but of a qualitative nature. So in this case, we're gonna do an interview,
Hmm.
and in this interview, I will ask him questions connected with the plantations of agave, which have been extensive.
Hmm.
Extensive. You have seen them everywhere, right, Mickey?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Agave. The consequences of these plantations. Do they erode the soil? What do you think?
Yeah, of course. I think that uh, in plantations, you more or less need to change the plant, right?
Yeah,
after. Um, and well, we know that agave is not a plant that requires a lot of water, so probably could affect the soil. And I don't know how is the demand of agave at this moment because I have seen a lot of agave, and probably I don't know if there's more offer than demand now. But yeah, it's a reality that if you go to the highway and you turn to left, turn to right, probably you're gonna see plantation of agave.
exactly. There is a belief that monocultivars of this nature obviously are not rotated, as you correctly said. They should be
Hmm.
rotated, but if they are not rotated, that can create erosion of the soil, and that is something very serious because that can erode the soil for 1 or 2 years
Hmm.
and leave the soil and the plantation unusable for 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
So these are some of the questions that I need to do with this engineer, with this person of the government, and then I will follow up, but not with a statistical analysis, but with a reasoning as to why is this taking place. Is the government doing something or not? Is the government doing something, or are they just giving concessions and concessions?
Hmm.
And then once you understand the nature of the situation, you can guide your next questions.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Of course.
right? It's like if you are a detective, more or less, trying to find out, first of all, what the real problem is, what the real cause is, and what the solution can be. But this is something practical. You're taking a practical example, and of course, when I do the report, the last stage is
Hmm.
exactly what the teachers are telling you, right? The APA format uh, or regulations format, the font size, and this, but that's for the report.
Hmm.
The actual work is go to the field and ask, find out the data, the information, and collect it. Don't you
Hmm.
think, Mickey?
Yeah. Of course. I think that's why I didn't like too much this class because I remember that we uploaded the or the documents or the advance of the work, and obviously it was just the how do you say uh, anteproyecto. It's not the whole project. It's just the I don't know how to say it in English.
The
Anteproyecto.
draft, the draft
Well,
of the
the draft,
project.
yeah, and we noticed that in occasions the teacher didn't didn't read the advance. He was just checking the APA mistakes, and that's all. And that's why probably I haven't feel like I want to do a research because he was like, well, he or she didn't check the work. He just checking that I make the APA format correctly, and that's why probably I don't like too much, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, in reality, research is for curious people, and young people are normally curious. So that should be one of the most exciting classes that people can take if you do it in a practical way, I think.
Yeah. For example, in this class I choose because obviously we need to do the draft of a new a new work because it's a new teacher, it's a new class, and we're a master's degree, so we needed to choose a topic to analyze and to do the draft. And I choose. I don't have exactly the name, but more or less I'm interested that the amount of people who commit suicides uh, are men people and are between 25 to 35 years old for the
How
recent
old?
life that they received.
What's the age range? I'm sorry.
Between 35 years old, not 20, between 25 to 35 years old.
I'm 35. Really? That's the
Yeah.
average age.
And I think that Guanajuato is one of the states where commit more suicides.
Is that true?
Yeah. Probably because, Guanajuato is an industrial zone, so probably the demand of work and demand of activities to do for the people. Normally, if you can notice, the people who commit suicides is young people that probably is working, that probably or is trying to find a work, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I've been interested because it surprised me. I didn't know that.
Wow, that is impressive. And is there like a reason why people commit suicide, like a trend? Uh, how
Well,
do you connect this
yeah,
with data? How do you?
I think that is because the demand of work that they receive in the industrial companies, it's so high, and probably that's the reason. But I'm not pretty sure. Or probably that the salaries that they're receiving are not enough to well, to, how to say, sustain a family. I don't know how to say it.
Support a family,
Support a
yeah.
family. I don't know, but it's an interesting topic, I think.
Very interesting. To support their families. Yeah, particularly if they are beginning a family, they are starting a family, and they
Hmm.
work a lot, and they don't receive uh, enough money to support the families. Well, yeah, it is something serious. But if they die, if they commit suicide, act suicide, they have it's going to be more difficult for the family to to
Yeah, of course.
survive, right?
Hmm.
I mean, the income of the father or the mother is one of the pillars of the survival of the family, right?
Hmm.
Pillars for the survival of the family. So you were doing a research on this.
Yeah, well, we're gonna start it because
Okay.
the first class was last Saturday, but we're gonna start developing the topic tomorrow.
Okay. Would you say that this is of a quantitative method or qualitative focus?
Mm,
Qualitative or quantitative, or there is a third methodology
mixed?
which is called mixed, which includes a
Yeah,
little bit of both.
probably will be mixed.
Mixed, right?
Yeah,
Okay. There are great researchers, but fantastic researchers on this area. And of course, the literature is so vast that you will be just amazed of how much research there is um, about researchers, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Uh, for example, I was trying to look up some researchers. Um, uh, I'm gonna look up for some great researchers. Let's look up for some uh, great. Actually, research leads to what? Leads to discoveries, right? Or
Yeah.
inventions. So, what do you think have been, or who do you think have been the greatest researchers of all time?
Mm, well, probably uh, Charles Darwin,
Darwin, yes, no doubt.
Newton,
Newton, of course.
Galileo Galilei.
Yeah, of course, yes, yes, yes.
Oh, there are so many.
Yeah, almost all the scientists, right? How about
Einstein. Yeah.
Einstein? How about social researchers? People who look up, but not for something quantitative, but qualitative.
Mm, probably Sigmund Freud could be one.
Sigmund Freud, yeah.
Sigmund Freud. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great research that impacted the modern psychology. Uh, who else? Well, there is a guy called, well, you know about Karl Marx, right?
Mm-hmm. Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. There is a guy called Michel Foucault who made a research about the concept of power, why power impacts decisions of people so much. Mm, I think I gave you a book. It's very pretty strong. Did I ever send you a book called um, Obedience to Authority?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know
Yeah,
you sent it, but I think that we read one time.
yeah. Remember what the topic was about?
Mm, not too much, teacher.
The obedience to authority makes an analysis to what extent people will go to comply with an order, even to the point of causing suffering to the other people. And there's an experiment in which the person who is the administrator of the experiment has an actor on the other side of the room, right? The actor is an actor, is not real. But
Mm-hmm.
if you come, I tell you, Mickey, please come. I will ask you to please turn on this knob, and that will create a voltage discharge in the other person who that's in the other room. And then the voltage discharge will be very low, will be 10 volts. I will ask you to continue. This is an experiment, Mickey. And you will, and after 80 volts, the person is going to start yelling, ah, ah, ah. And then apparently it's causing pain. And then you will say, no, but I'm causing a person to suffer. And then I will tell you, Mickey, this is an experiment. It is necessary that we continue. In reality, the whole thing is the experiment to see to what point you go obeying an order to make
Mm-hmm.
other people suffer. Well, there are many, many interesting findings. If you are detached from the person, if you don't see the person, or if you don't have any connection with that person, you can almost make him die.
Yeah.
But let's say that you see the eyes of the person, that you said, hello, hello, I am the experiment guy. Oh, okay, goodbye. Almost immediately you will stop because you develop a rapport, some kind of empathy towards the person. So I will
Mm-hmm.
tell you, Mickey, continue, and you say, no, I quit, goodbye. Mickey is an experiment. No, no, goodbye. Right?
Yeah. Well,
Very,
now that you're
very.
saying that, I think that we haven't read, but one time you mentioned that I remember the name of the book, but I think that we haven't read it.
Okay, well, that is. Let me send you the book. Let me see if I find it. It's a really interesting. It's one of the first books on research, right? It's an
Mm-hmm.
old book. It was written right after the World War, I think in the 60s.
Oh,
Uh, Obedience, and it's really obedience to authority. Here it is. Let me send it to you, Mickey, because it's really, really interesting.
thanks. Stanley Milgram is the author.
That's him, Stanley Milgram, exactly. Well, if you found it in internet, I think you can find it for free. It's really, an interesting book. Let me put it here
Yeah, thank you.
so that I can have access quickly, because then I have obedience to authority here. Okay, escritorio, and then I'll send it to you, Mickey.
Thank you.
Here, yes, escritorio, obedience. That's the book. Okay, there it goes. Okay, I already sent it. It's going through. I think it already went
Yeah, I received it,
there.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that is a research of quantitative and qualitative nature, and you see the impact of that research. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, then uh, other important aspects of research is ethics. Ethics. To what extent would you go to collect information? I mean, you can even install a camera in a hidden place. And for example, remember Richard Nixon and Watergate, the Watergate scandal?
Mm-mm. No, teacher.
No,
Mm-mm.
when they impeached Nixon, they took him out of office, the president of the U.S., the United
Mm-hmm.
States. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that he was the president of the United States, but uh, I remember the case.
Okay, can you then please look up for the Watergate scandal? Watergate scandal. What it was, how it was done. Watergate scandal.
Watergate scandal,
Yes. Can you maybe share it?
1952.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. Shit. Yeah, let's see what it says.
Mhm.
Okay, this was another important research, but this led to the impeachment of the president of the United States. That was the
Sure.
outcome of the investigation. So let's take a quick read, please, Mickey.
Mhm. Richard Nixon's Secret Fund, 1952. Richard M. Nixon, then a U.S. Senator from California and the Republican vice presidential nominee, was accused of maintaining a hidden political fund of about 18,000 collected from home state supporters. The Democratic-leaning New York Post carried the first reports of the fund somewhat sensationalized accounts that, in Nixon's words, "let me have it with both barrels." An avalanche of coverage followed, and soon the secret fund was the central issue of the presidential campaign. Though legal, the previously undisclosed nest egg caused such a stir that Nixon was nearly forced from GOP presidential nominee Dwight D. Eisenhower ticket. Some of the Eisenhower staff and key party elders wanted Nixon to step down. Former GOP presidential nominee and New York Gov. Thomas E. Dewey personally urged Nixon to resign. Nixon saved himself with a dramatic mouthly television appeal that became known as the Checker speech, some named because of a cocker spaniel dog given by a supporter to his young daughters, which Nixon swore never to give up, come what may in the political wars. Tch,
Yeah,
yeah, that's all here.
that's all that it says.
Hmm.
Clinton, uh, but there must
Probably
be
the
something like
page is a little bit old.
could be, but well, look, the scandal, um, Watergate. This is let me share it. It's just
Yeah.
a short paragraph. What it is about here. Complete the screen, and then here it is. Timeline. Okay, can you read it, Mickey, please?
Hmm.
The Watergate scandal.
The Watergate scandal refers to the burglary and illegal wiretapping of the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee in the Watergate complex by members of President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign, and the subsequent cover-up of the break-in, resulting in Nixon's resignation on August 9, 1974, as well as other abuses of power by the Nixon White House that were discovered during the course of the scandal.
So the consequence of that is that Nixon had to resign from office. He was impeached. Is the first president to leave office while to abandon the presidency. But you say, how did they obtain the information? Well, how do you think they did it, Mickey?
They put microphones or cameras.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's exactly right. That's that simple. So with microphones, hidden micro microphones. Mm, what do you think about this concept of hiding a device that's going to collect your information? We're talking about the ethics of research.
Well, mm, it's an interesting question. I think that depending of the research, right? Because obviously we have seen that in so many cases. We have seen that in the politics here in Mexico too, that they put cameras or they put microphones so someone is spying the conversation between calls. I think that um, probably it is not ethical, but probably what they are doing or what they are researching, the people who are doing that is not ethical either. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a good comment. Actually, I think is if you don't tell the person, I think it's not ethical.
Hmm.
Uh, it's very common. Yeah, it's very common. Lots of people do it. Lots of people. actually go all the way to obtain what they want, right? Regardless
Hmm.
of the method.
Hmm.
So sometimes the research becomes highly unethical,
Yeah.
like in this case of placing microphones, video cameras. Don't tell me in political aspects, in the political arena.
Yeah, it's something popular there.
Yeah. But they have the phrase, which I don't know if I agree with. I don't know if you agree with this phrase. The means, I mean, the ends justify the means.
The means.
Yeah, what do you think of this phrase?
Is of Machiavello? I'm not sure.
I believe it is. I
Yeah.
believe it is, or at least it is attributed to him.
Hmm. Uh, well, I think that in some occasions it is necessary, but like everything, we need to try to be ethical, right? We
Yeah,
don't have to overpass that line.
yeah.
But you know,
And the thing with ethics is that it is so absolute that you cannot say, "Well, I am ethical 90% of the time, Mickey." Okay, well,
yeah, it's yes or no, and that's all.
exactly. It's black or white. That's not
Black or white.
gradual. So in this case, when they were spying Nixon, they were doing this research to find out if he was committing crimes like fraud, theft, etc. And the answer was yes, that he was doing. And the conclusion of that investigation was that he was taken out of office. You have seen the speech in which he defects the presidency of the US?
No, I haven't.
No? Let's look it up.
Mm-mm.
Speech of Nixon for his resignation. Speech videos. It's impressive. Uh, there is
You're gonna share it?
I already found it. Let me send it
Okay.
to you and maybe you can look it up.
Okay.
Let me send it to you through WhatsApp. Here it is. It's 3 minutes only. Let's see if you wanna take a look at it and maybe notice the most important part of the speech. Okay, I'm gonna share it, but you can watch it also if you wish. Let me show it here. Maybe because of the audio.
Yeah.
Well, I sent you the link to the WhatsApp group anyways, Mickey.
Mm. I sent here in the comments too, or not?
Excuse me? Oh, in the comments as
No.
well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Comment
please,
there. Yeah, I sent it to
because
the
I don't
comment.
have the
Yeah.
WhatsApp web. Thank you.
Ah, okay, perfect. Okay, no problem.
I have spoken to you from this office, where so many decisions have
I
been
can hear it
made that
here in
shape the
the.
history
Oh, you can?
of this
Yeah.
nation.
Okay, here.
Each time I have done so to discuss with you some matter that I believe affected the national interest. In all the decisions I have made in my public life, I have always tried to do what was best for the nation. Throughout the long and difficult period of Watergate, I have felt it was my duty to persevere, to make every possible effort to complete the term of office to which you elected me. In the past few days, however, it has become evident to me that I no longer have a strong enough political base in the Congress to justify continuing that effort. As long as there was such a base, I felt strongly that it was necessary to see the constitutional process through to its conclusion, that to do otherwise would be unfaithful to the spirit of that deliberately difficult process and a dangerously destabilizing precedent for the future. But with the disappearance of that base, I now believe that the constitutional purpose has been served, and there is no longer a need for the process to be prolonged. I would have preferred to carry through to the finish, whatever the personal agony it would have involved. And my family unanimously urged me to do so. But the interests of the nation must always come before any personal considerations. From the discussions I have had with congressional and other leaders, I have concluded that because of the Watergate matter, I might not have the support of the Congress that I would consider necessary to back the very difficult decisions and carry out the duties of this office in the way the interests of the nation will require. I have never been a quitter. To leave office before my term is completed is abhorrent to every instinct in my body. But as president, I must put the interests of America first. America needs a full-time president and a full-time Congress, particularly at this time with problems we face at home and abroad. To continue to fight through the months ahead for my personal vindication would almost totally absorb the time and attention of both the president and the Congress in a period when our entire focus should be on the great issue of peace abroad and prosperity without inflation at home. Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office.
Wow. Impactful, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mickey?
uh, I don't know. He more or less falls that the Congress will not support him for the case of the Watergate,
Right,
and
yeah.
he prefers to resign to the president of the United States. I didn't know that. Well, I knew that Nixon was president of the United States, and I knew that he resigned, but I didn't know
The causes?
the process. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he resigned. He was taken down
Hmm. You imagine in front of all the countries say that
in front of all the country, or in front of all the world.
of the
That
world. Yeah.
became a world news.
Yeah. Of course.
To quit the presidency of the most powerful country on earth. Gee, that must be something.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he was caught placing microphones in the Democrat Party. He was a Republican,
Hmm.
and then he conducted a espionage campaign to spy on the Democrats. Right,
Hmm.
that's what the Watergate scandal was about. And then he
Hmm.
was caught, and they found out that he had been spying on the Democrats to re-elect his campaign. So placing microphones had a consequence.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow.
Uh, to the point that he was taken down. Well, so that tells you about the ethics of research. How far should we go in the quest of research, right? When we want to do a research, how far should we go, or we shouldn't go that far? I don't know. What comes to your mind with other researches that people do, Mickey? Like, for example, pharmaceutical, behavioral, purchasing, etc.
Well, I think that at the end is the same, depending of the ethics, because yeah, we know, for example, the pharmaceutical that they use in location animals to experiment a new product or a new medicine, and some animals suffer just for the to acquire new knowledge. I don't know. Probably there must be boundaries and everything. I think that there must be boundaries, and I don't know. Understand that probably there's gonna be a day that we're gonna discover that it is impossible to know everything of of all. So
Yeah,
I think that it is important to understand that.
yeah, that is true. That's very true, Mickey, actually. Well, another aspect of research, which you mentioned a little bit ago, a while ago, is the concept of validity and reliability. You were saying, I don't know if this is connected or not with that. The placement of cookies will allow you to consistently know this or that information. You mentioned that, and that is extremely important. That is called validity and reliability. Okay,
Yeah.
let's read it, please. Let's read what data validity and reliability is, please. Can you,
Yeah.
please?
Validity, the extent to which a study accurately measures what it intends to measure. Reliability, the consistency and replicability of research findings.
Exactly. You were, oh, I don't know what I did. You were talking about the cookies, for example, that they placed. How
Mm-hmm.
reliable are they and how valid are they? Do you think they are valid? Do you think they are reliable?
Mm, well, I think that obviously I understand the validity of why they're doing that, but I think that it is fault of the people too because in occasions they send you the
The warning?
notification, the warning, yeah, that you're gonna be tracked in the moment that you are inside of the website, and it is your decision to accept or not. If not, well, I don't think that is the only website that you can get information that you can buy. So I think that it's important uh, to be aware of the problem and or well of what they're doing, and you take your own decisions. Probably for me, there's no problem, but probably for other people, there's gonna be a problem, and they have the final decision. But in occasion, I think that is fault of ourselves because we don't read. We just accept things because in terms and conditions, yeah, we accept, and we don't know what's are really in the terms and conditions.
Yeah. There is a movie by Will Smith. What's the name of this movie? It's a great movie. Um, what's the name? Is one in which he's being spied by the government by accident.
Mm,
Enemy of the State. Have you seen
Hanging
it?
on Fruit? Yeah, I think so, but a long time ago. But yeah,
It's a great movie. Very, very good movie. I love it. Enemy
yeah,
of the State.
it's not. Mm-hmm.
He receives a person is running, and by accident they drop a cassette with a video film in which somebody's murdering a senator, and they put the videotape in his pocket, and he doesn't know that it's there, and so he unwillingly he becomes an enemy of the state
Yeah.
because he witnessed, apparently he has the videotape, he witnessed a murder of the government of the senator by the government.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie, great movie.
Yeah.
Well, maybe maybe you can watch it for next if you have the time, of course, if you have the opportunity to watch that movie,
Yeah, I'm
Mickey.
gonna see where it's available. I think that it's available in. Let me see.
Should be Netflix, I think. Should
Uh, it don't
or not?
appears in Netflix. It appears in Disney Plus. I think that we have Disney Plus. I'll check
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a great movie, and it is connected with ethics of research. To what
Mhm.
point do people, societies, organizations go to well, to do what they want to do, right? To research, to investigate. In this case, the life of a person, of a citizen.
Where are the limits?
Yeah, and that is a good question. It's a serious question. It's maybe if you have a friend, maybe your teacher, maybe you can ask him, what is the limit of research? In other words, is there an ethical limit or a boundary to which we shouldn't trespass, or
Mhm.
there is no? I mean, the pursuit of science has no limits, and we can do anything we want to find out the truth.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm gonna ask to her the next Saturday because yeah, I think that if we start questioning those type of questions, probably the class will be a lot more interesting instead of just seeing the grammar, well, the APA rules and all stuff. I think that when you really do a research and you start to create your own questions about that research or about research in general, I think that could be a lot more interesting.
Exactly. You just mentioned that doing research on some medications, is it legal? Is it ethical to make experiments with human beings to determine if a drug is going to work? Is if that drug can become a medicine
Yeah,
or
exactly.
pharmaceutical? That is research, right? Okay, but is
Hmm.
it ethical? Should we do it, or even with animals? Much more with people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mickey. Well, as usual, great talk.
Yes, teacher,
Uh,
thank you very much.
take care and see you Monday, I guess, right?
Yes, teacher. See you Monday. If you wish at 9, it's perfect.
Okay. Okay, Mickey.
Take
Well,
care,
thank you very
teacher.
much. Take care. Have a nice weekend and say hello to the family.
You too, teacher, and good luck in your interview.
Oh, of course. I'll let you know how it went.
Thank you,
Thank
teacher.
you.
Take
Take
care.
care.